Ever since I was a young boy, playing the drums on pots and pans, I've had a dream. When I finally learned to speak, I told my parents,
Papa, someday I'll have the coolest drum beat on YouTube. What's YouTube?
As I grew older and my drum powers grew, I grew more confident in my destiny as heir to the coolest beat throne. Someday soon, the title would be mine. And this whole lifetime of practicing till my fingers bled, training,
get those feet out of the concrete,
and scheming. This is the 80-20 drummer. So much mental energy, I've always got stuff I can show you guys, would come to an end, and I could claim my rightful place in history. Then I wake up one morning, and Adam Tumanaro's done it first.
No! No!
At first, I was in denial.
No! No! No!
But gradually, I grew to accept my fate. Destiny had forsaken me.
Why?
For the next few years, I was adrift. I dropped out of organized society to live on the margins, trying bits and pieces of whatever Eastern philosophy would drift through my transom. Then, living in a cardboard box in Kathmandu, it hit me. Suddenly, life made sense again.
I've got it! I can make the second coolest beat on YouTube!
I begged my wife to take me back and once again began to adopt the ways of modern society, presenting the second coolest drum beat on YouTube. It wouldn't be easy. With so many eras of drum beats to start with, where would I begin? In 1963, for instance, the coolest drum beat for sure was probably Wipeout. Flash forward 50 years, and it's probably something from Beat Music, or a Blue Whale gig. Or maybe something by Spanky. Actually, full stop. It's almost certainly something from Spanky. But here's the problem. Adam already did something a little Spanky-esque. I've got the opportunity to do something different. Without being pedantic, let's take a quick tour of all the cool drum beats we could borrow from. What's a missed opportunity to create the coolest beat on YouTube, if not an opportunity to explore the other cool beats throughout history? In the 70s, we'd probably choose something from Bonham. Or maybe Bernard Purdie. The 80s? God, there's so much to choose from. So I want to focus this search on the 90s forward, on the beats and evolutionary through lines, influencing this cocktail of current beats drummers dig. In my mind, there are at least 6 different through lines. In the 90s, as Fred Armisen astutely pointed out, we got Tom Rock, Dave Grohl, Matt Cameron. And that's a really cool, fresh sound we could think about incorporating. We also got this really cool linear funk through line from people like Harvey Mason through to people like Garibaldi. Dennis Chambers. All the way down to people like Thomas Pridgen. Then we've got this gospel through line from people like Chris Coleman and Aaron Spears, and its modern incarnation in trap beats. We've got the Jojo Mayer thing with acoustic drummers imitating electronica, which influenced Zach Danziger and Mark Juliana. And the other branch of that, the Keith Carlock style, that influenced Nate Wood, and together with the Danzigers and Julianas, gave birth to what we might call the 55-bar Blue Whale style. We've got Chris Dave, who acoustified Jay Dilla and his legion of imitators. Then, out on Planet Spanky, we've got Spanky. And it's not like there isn't crosstalk. Take Mason Guidry, in whose playing you can see Ron Bruner, Nate Wood, the Gospel Guys, and a whole lot else. Or Matt Garska, who's clearly got the linear thing of Garibaldi and Thomas. A bunch from Vinny, and also metal. Or Richard Spavin, who's got a bit of the Jojo Juliana electronic thing, but also a big dose of Chris Dave. And, in my controversial opinion, a little strain of Marcus as well. So if we were to whiteboard the coolest drum beat in a totally non-musical, nerdy engineering style, we'd probably want to take the best of each style. Like, let's get some cool toms from Matt Cameron. And we definitely want some cool electronica styling through Nate Wood, maybe with a splash cymbal on the rack tom. We definitely want to put a Chris Dave off-kilter spin on it. And finally, incorporate some Spanky. If I could even figure out anything to play, you're watching this hodgepodge right now. If not, you're watching Puppies. Because, of course, what makes a cool beat isn't just cramming bits and pieces of every other cool beat into it. Any more than you'd expect a milkshake with salt and straw ice cream, actual salt, actual straw, bourbon, and eel to be delicious. So what am I supposed to do now? But just remember, the thing that makes us human is the ability to cram a bunch of unrelated influences in, then free associate, like Ali Bernatchez. So I'm just gonna play what comes to mind.
What if we do what comes to mind?
With one constraint. It should be easy enough to play along with that it would work in a real song. Well, almost in a real song. Presenting my nominee for second coolest drum beat on YouTube. Or at least the most personal beat. And now I can rest. In all seriousness, guys, if you enjoyed this one, I'd love to know in the comments. Also, let me know your nominees for second coolest drum beat on YouTube. See you soon. Oh, hey, how about maybe I take the drumsticks with me? Little drumstick action there, eh?
Oras que mi hijo.